Hey guys, it's Miss Jackson. I'm here to help with powers and exponents. So let's take a look at what those are. Here we have the expression a to the n power. That's how we would state that. A in this case is the base, and n, which is written smaller and up top, is the exponent. Now in this case we have variables, but if we had numbers, let's say we have 2 to the third power, what this means is the power, or the exponent, is how many times we're multiplying the base by itself. So in this case we have 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times. In this case with variables we would have a times a times a as many times as we need so that we have n number of times. And that's our exponent. So if we had n is 3, then we would have a times a times a. If we have 4, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and try some examples. Here we have 4 to the second power. This is also called 4 squared. And to solve this, all we have to do is multiply the base by itself twice. 4 times 4, which is equal to 16. Alright, so in the second example we have 2 to the fifth power. See if you can solve this by yourself, and when you're ready, click continue. Alright, welcome back, and I hope what you did was 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So we have 5 times 2 times itself. And if we go ahead and do that, we get 32. So 2 to the fifth power is 32. And finally, here we have a variable, x to the third power, which is x cubed. So we have special names for 4 squared when we have a 2, or x cubed when we have a 3 in the exponent. And in this case, it's when x is equal to 10. So first thing we have to do is substitute this 10 for the x. So we have 10 cubed. And now we can solve 10 times 10 times 10, which is equal to 1,000. So that's our answer. Now we also have to follow a basic order of operations when we have an expression with a power in it. And here's the order of operations. First, we evaluate the expressions in parentheses. So once again, let's say we have a plus b inside parentheses. Whatever is inside the parentheses we do first. Then we evaluate any powers. So let's say we have a to the n, or 2 to the fourth, or whatever it is. We evaluate the powers next. Then we look for multiplication or division, and we do that from left to right. And finally look for addition or subtraction, and we also do that from left to right. So let's use this basic order of operations on some examples. Here's our first example, 4 minus 2 cubed times 10. Alright, so remember, we evaluate expressions in parentheses first. 4 minus 2, so that's equal to 2. Now keep the rest of the expression to the third power times 10. Next we're going to evaluate powers. In this case we have 2 to the third. So 2 cubed, or 2 to the third, is the same as 2 times 2 times 2. So I wrote it down here. And let's go ahead and solve it up here. That's equal to 8. And we still keep that times 10. So finally we're going to multiply and divide. In this case we have multiplication, so that's equal to 80. So that's our answer to this expression. That's how we solved it. Alright, next example, 20 minus 3 squared plus 2. First thing is parentheses. Well, we don't have any parentheses. Next comes powers. So in this case we have 3 squared, so keep the 20. 3 times 3 is 9, and then multiply by 2. So we look at multiplication first. 9 times 2 is 18. Keep the 20 minus. And the last step is addition or subtraction. In this case we have subtraction, so that's going to be equal to 2. So the answer to this whole expression is 2. And finally, finding area. Well, what we want to do is write an expression for whatever word problem we have. Remember to use the order of operations and use parentheses where you need it so that we can do specific operations before other ones. And then we'll solve the expression. Now remember, the area of a square is its side squared. So we know that area is going to be, for a square or rectangle, one side times the other. Well, in a square, the side is the same length. All sides are the same length. Let's call it S. So s times s is the same as s squared. Alright, so let's try this example. Marcel buys pieces of grass to fill his front yard. He gets 9 squares of 10 inch by 10 inch and 6 rectangles of 10 inch by 4 inch. What is the total area covered? Now see if you can write an expression so that we can solve this. When you're ready, click continue. Alright, welcome back. Now let's go ahead and try to write an expression. Let me highlight the terms we need to know. He gets 9 squares of 10 inch by 10 inch and 6 rectangles of 10 inch by 4 inch. So we can write this as 9 times, now let's just put it in parentheses. Here we have a square, so we can have 10 squared, and then we're adding 6 times the number of rectangles times the size of the rectangle, 10 by 4. And now that we have this whole expression, we can solve it. So let's remember order of operations. We do what's inside the parentheses first. So we have 9 times, now 10 squared is 100, plus 6 times 10 times 4, which is 40. Now see if you can solve the rest using the order of operations. When you're ready, click continue. Alright, welcome back. So remember, first we do multiplication from left to right. So 9 times 100, and then we'll do 6 times 40. So let's go ahead and do that. We have 900. Still keep that plus sign. 6 times 40, which gives us 240. And then finally we'll do the last portion, which is the addition. And we're going to get 900 plus 240, which gives us 1140. Now in this case it's a word problem. We need to know what we're looking for. We have inches squared since we're looking at an entire area of his front yard. Alright, I hope that helped you with powers and exponents. You did a great job, and good luck.